Hey there, how's it going? My name is OG Junkyard. You can find me on twitch.tv/OG Junkyard. Today, I wanted to recommend a variety of products that you could potentially buy for the streamer in your life, whether that's your kid or your partner or spouse or friend. It. I just want to talk about a variety of products at a bunch of different price points that I think would actually benefit them and their stream. And it can also kind of help you figure out what to navigate during this upcoming holiday season, or whether it's a birthday or something like that. So I don't know how many products I've got pulled up here, so I can't tell you like this is like 10 item ideas for the stream or whatever. But we're gonna go through them, and I hope you get some ideas. I'm gonna go through a variety of price points. We're gonna start at like $13, and we're gonna get progressively more and more and more expensive. So if at any point you find something that's either in your price range or that kind of thing, you can just go ahead and stop watching the video, because it's going to get more expensive from that point onward. So let's go ahead and get started. The first few items are more around mindset and also engaging with the community and coming up with like ways to like grow your stream. The first thing I highly recommend, I've already listened to the audiobook for this twice. I'm on my third time through it, but the book is called Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Crushing It, how great entrepreneurs build their business influence and how you can too. I really like this book because it helps me understand what it takes to not only grow my stream, but also grow my community and engage more with them, and honestly be truly thankful and hustle and put in hard work for not only my stream community, but the broader Twitch and streaming community for like Mixer and YouTube and that kind of stuff as well. That's why I think this book is really, really important, because it has examples from other entrepreneurs who have built their businesses from nothing, in addition to talking about how to use a lot of social media platforms to grow and gain more followers and gain a bigger presence, both on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and others. Moving on to the next thing. This is a streaming specific book. It's called Build Your Dream Stream by Ashnichrist. So the first one, going back, this is $13 for the paperback book. The Kindle book is $15. The Build Your Dream Stream book is $27. I'll have links for all this stuff in the description below. I have personally read through this book. It tells you how to grow your stream from 0 to 15 concurrent viewers. That's people watching at the same time. 15 viewers to 30 viewers, 30 viewers to 45, 45 to 60, and 60 to 75, and then 75 and beyond. And 75 concurrent viewers is where you become eligible for partnership on Twitch. You can still make money on Twitch long before that. Once you make affiliate, which is just 50 followers and 3 concurrent viewers. But this is how to actually progressively make your stream better and better and better, so you are more likely to draw in more people to your stream. So if somebody is struggling with their stream and they're not quite sure how to like even get those first few viewers, or maybe they're at the 10 concurrent viewer mark and they're trying to grow that to 20 or 30 or 50 or whatever it is, this book is really, really helpful in a wide variety of topics. It talks about things like treating your stream like a business, like setting a schedule, sticking a schedule, what types of content works well for you, how to engage with your broader community, things like that. So I found it really, really helpful. This book is on Gumroad. I'll have the link of that in the description below. Next thing up is if they don't have a webcam. The kind of ways I think about this is you need something to watch on screen. So that's like a video game console or like the computer screen or something like that. So the viewer needs some content to watch, and to help the streamer connect with the viewers, it's always a good idea to have a camera in place, unless the streamer is very like anxious or has some self-confidence issues in that regard. Some streamers prefer just not have cam, but if your streamer wants to be the face of their stream and really connect with people, I do recommend a cam. You can get by with the laptop cam if they're streaming off of like a laptop or something like that. But if they want to have a little bit nicer image quality, this is honestly what I would recommend first, is the Logitech C920 or C920 kind of line of cameras. So that's the Logitech C920, the C920S, and the C922. I would not recommend you necessarily get the C922 because the Logitech C920 and the C920S basically serve the exact same function, have the same basic outputs, like quality output, and they're $20 to $50 cheaper. So this one's the Logitech C920S. This is at $50, $49.99. If you can't find this one on for around $50, look for the Logitech C920. And that is usually around $50 as well. So you can scour places like Best Buy or Amazon or whatever. Once again, I'll have links to all these descriptions below. Next up on the list is the Elgato Stream Deck. I'm starting really small with the 6-button because it's the cheapest, but Elgato makes a 6-button one, 15-key one, and a 32-key one. The cool thing about this is, like, if you look at this and you're like, oh, that's not very many buttons. And I don't think they'll be able to use that very much. The cool thing about the Elgato Stream Deck, I've got the 32-key one hooked up here. It has folders. So even if you get this 6-key Stream Deck here, you can make folders and add more buttons. Like this is my getting started stuff. Whenever I'm starting my stream and stopping it. And then like, here's my challenge runs and also, so you can have like a crazy number of buttons, even if you get this tiny little 6-key one. The 6-key one starts at like $62 right now for the holiday season. We're going to talk about the 15-key and the 32-key, but the 15-key is $100, and the 32-key is $200. If I had to pick one, if they don't have a Stream Deck and they're just getting started, honestly, I would not recommend the 6-key one. I would jump up to the 15-key because there's only like a $35, $40 price difference between the two, and you get way more buttons and it's way more usable. I used the 15-key for like 7 solid months. And the only reason I upgraded to the 32-key was because I was using it so much and I had already kind of maxed it out and I didn't want to dig through the folders and I wasn't very adept at using it. So I went ahead and bumped up to the 32-key. Now that I'm getting better with the software and that kind of stuff, I've got the 32-key and I love it. I've thought about getting a second one because I'm using so many of the buttons and I want it to just be readily available whenever I stream. So like I said before, I'll show you a few different ones. I highly recommend, if they don't have an Elgato Stream Deck already, and they use Windows as their streaming computer, then this is the one thing that I would like highly push, because I love mine. It is, a 5 out of 5 product in my opinion, and it's just so expandable. But anyway, I'm beating that horse to a bloody pulp. So next up is, you can also find this on Amazon. A streamer needs something to talk into. You can very well, going back to the Logitech C920, this does have an onboard microphone. So if you can't get them both a camera and a microphone, you can get them a nicer camera, because a bunch of those cameras include microphones. They're not going to be the greatest quality, but they will suffice. But if you want to get them a dedicated microphone, they're really looking at getting a microphone. I'm gonna recommend the Blue Yetis for like kind of entry level streamer microphones. They range in prices all the way from $50 up to $230. So there's a wide variety of price ranges there. A lot of them hover around the $100 mark, and it's kind of just depends partly on color, partly on whether it's a USB mic or kind of the type of mic. But there's a bunch of different options here. The Blue Yeti mics are good. A lot of streamers use them, and we'll talk about a couple of other microphones as well. But there's options. There's plenty of options. So moving on, we're back to the Elgato Stream Deck. This is the 15-key. Like I said, it's a little bit bigger. Costs about $100. You'll see the 32-key here in a little bit. Now, let's say the streamer in your life has like a DSLR camera already, they can use this product, the Elgato Cam Link, to plug it into their computer. And it's very easy. It's just a USB thing. And if their camera has HDMI outputs, the Elgato Cam Link just slides right into the USB port on the computer. The HDMI port, the cord comes out of the camera into this. And now you can have something like what I've got here where you can see me. I am using a different capture card for other reasons, for a lot of other reasons. It's way more expensive and I would never recommend it to anybody else for a handful of reasons. But if somebody is just getting started or they've been streaming for a little bit and they want to make their setup look a little bit nicer and they want to use a nicer camera, the Elgato Cam Link is a great place to start. It's at $100 right now for the holiday season. It's only $130. So I would recommend that as well. Next up on the list is a way to capture the video game console. If they're playing off a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or a Nintendo Switch, this is a great way to capture that. There's a variety of different capture devices from Elgato and other companies as well, like AverMedia. I have a Magewell capture card in my streaming PC, but if they don't have space for it in their streaming PC, like a PCI capture card, this is a great option as well. A lot of people use Elgato capture cards, like the game capture stuff, like the HD60S, the HD60S Pro, and stuff like that. So this is the HD60S. It plugs into the computer via USB. It needs a USB 3.0 connection. So that'd be the only thing, is like if you don't have a new enough computer, then that might be a little bit of a hiccup. But this one's currently $120. It's only $180. So keep that in mind. But this is a great way to get a video game console into the stream. Now, and next up is a product I personally use. You can't see my background, but I have this exact product. I will show you. This is the Elgato green screen. I love it. It is far superior than any other green screens that I've seen on the market. It's $130, so it's in some cases it's twice as expensive as some of the other green screens, but it is zero hassle. Elgato across the board with their products has absolutely nailed it on the streaming segment. I use this personally. It's $130. It takes up a fair bit of room, but it gives you a lot of options. Anybody who, like, if they're getting a green screen, I would highly, 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 highly recommend getting like lighting, a decent like 3-point lighting kit. And I could talk about a variety of things there with that, but I don't want to go into it with this video because it's a kind of complicated topic. But a green screen can give them the ability to do what I'm doing here, where you just see me on top of, the content, and you don't have, you're not losing some of the content due to the background. But Elgato green screen, if they're looking at green screen and they've got good lighting, $130 this holiday season, fantastic product. Moving on, we're on to the 32 key Stream Deck. Once again, I will quickly gloss over that. It's fantastic. I use this exact one. I pre-ordered it or bought it like day one. I was super pumped to get it. It's a fantastic product and I highly recommend it. Moving on, video game consoles. I would not recommend buying a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, but I'm bringing it up anyway. The reason why I would not recommend buying one is because next holiday season, the new Xbox, it's currently called Project Scarlet, is coming out in holiday season 2020, and also the PS5 is coming out in holiday 2020 as well. So unless you can score like a Black Friday deal, I've seen some out where you can get a console, a PlayStation 4, and like a console, the console and a game for like $200, and they absolutely want one. I would not recommend getting a console this generation because we've got the next consoles coming out next year. But if you absolutely have to, you can buy them on Amazon, Best Buy, things like that. And I can provide some links in the description below. Next up, a microphone. Now we're over the $200 mark. So around $230. This is the Rode Procaster. I believe this is an XLR microphone. And we'll get into what that means here in a bit. But if if the streamer wants to have a really good setup, a really nice setup, you start getting into like physical mixers that use XLR cables, not USB cables. But this is a good, if they've already got a mixer of some sort, or they got a GoXLR to plug it into, this is where you start getting into the nicer microphones. I use a Heil PR40. That microphone's about $400. I would not recommend that for someone who is either just getting started streaming, or they've only been streaming for a few months and they're not sure whether they like it or not. They're not taking it seriously. But if they do take it seriously, if they are using it for streaming and like YouTube content and other stuff, this is where you start getting into really good quality microphones. And I'll have a link to this in the description below as well. Next up on the list is the GoXLR Mini. This is about $250. If they've been streaming for a while and they want to upgrade to a nicer microphone, you can get a microphone and a GoXLR Mini. This thing's about $250. It allows you to plug in that XLR microphone into this and also control it. It does also have some interesting things. You can control the mic. It plugs into your computer via USB. You can control like chat and music and the video game console. You can easily mute them or control them. You can mute the mic with a single like button. There's also like a sensor button. So like if somebody wants to, for like kind of for on the fly censorship of themselves, some people like to do it. Some people use it as kind of a humorous thing, like a buddy of mine named Clone Corp, who streams on Twitch. This is a great way to do it. GoXLR, there's two versions of them. This one is the mini, and then they've also got the full-size GoXLR, which is $500. We'll talk about that here in a second. But this is a way for them to start using those nicer quality components at a decent price point. I was looking at Blue Yeti microphones, and I forgot to close this tab. Here's the GoXLR, the $500 version. It has more things. It's got like a voice transcoder and all that stuff. And so you start combining multiple things. The voice modulation and transcoding or whatever, that stuff's like not necessary, but it can be a lot of fun. And if somebody's really creative, it can really add a lot of spice to their stream if they have like a robotic voice or a devil voice, or like a phone call operator type voice. Like, just adds a lot of fun to the stream and that kind of stuff. And it makes it so that you can just hit a button and quickly switch over to those voices. So got another Rode microphone. I was looking at a variety of them. Next on the list, I'm going to start talking about monitors. A streamer can pretty much never have too many monitors. I've got 2 monitors right now, and I'm probably going to invest in getting a third at some point in the next year, in 2020. And monitors make it so much easier to keep an eye on chat, play the game, and also like be able to reference stuff on like websites and things like that. Monitors are coming at a variety of price points. I've seen them as cheap as like monitors I would recommend as cheap as like $200 all the way up to like $600-700. Like for example, this Dell UltraSharp 27-inch Infinity Edge monitor is $270. The thing to watch out for is if they're focused on streaming, there's basically a 60 frame per second cap on the quality they can send to their viewers. And so once you get into like gaming monitors and that kind of stuff, a lot of them advertise 120 hertz, which is 120 frames per second, or 240 hertz, which is 240 frames per second, and things like that. And if they're focused on streaming first and foremost, you don't have to go and spend that extra money on those features. The other thing is like a lot of those gaming focused monitors don't have the best color. And if they do have really good color and they have really fast response rates and they've got really high frame rates, they're going to be really expensive, like over $1,000 for just a monitor expensive. And I would never recommend you spend your money on something like that. Monitors right now for connecting to the computer, a lot of them are 1080p and above. Some of them are 4K, but if you're going to go 4K, make sure they've got the graphics card and that kind of stuff to handle it. But also for streaming on Twitch specifically, you can't stream in 4K. So having a 4K monitor, trying to stream in 4K on Twitch just doesn't work right now. They don't have the bandwidth to support it. But yeah, so a new monitor could definitely add a lot of flexibility to them, and it allows them to do a lot of things at the same time with their stream and just react faster and keep an eye on stuff faster. I'm personally looking at getting another monitor because I'm want to be able to have like my chat room with my moderators for my Twitch channel up at the same time, and also be able to reference like websites and stuff a whole lot easier than trying to like click a whole bunch of buttons in OBS and turn off my game console and turn on the monitor and all that stuff. Just trying to make my life a little bit easier. So that's why I'm looking at getting a third monitor. And here's a couple of monitors I was looking at in particular. This one is actually basically the current version of one of the monitors I have, and I absolutely love it. It's the Dell UltraSharp 27. It's at $400. You can get into an Alienware monitor if they absolutely want a gaming monitor. Alienware makes pretty good monitors. The only problem is you're going to lose some resolution. But this is a 240 hertz or 240 frames per second monitor. It's 27 inch. It has 1 millisecond response time, and it's 1080p. So it's not the highest resolution, but it's a fast monitor. So that being said, this has been a variety of products at a whole bunch of different price points, all the way from $13 up to $500. If you go above that, I would honestly seriously reconsider that, unless the streamer in your life has told you exactly what they want, and they have studied it, and they know it will provide them benefit. Because I don't want you to spend your money, them not absolutely love the product, and it just sit in the closet. Or if they're new to streaming, you spend all this money and they don't stream in 3 or 6 months. I've streamed over 1,000 hours in the past year, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about whenever it comes to this stuff. But you know, that kind of thing. But I'm constantly looking at new technology and that kind of stuff. So I feel like I've got some pretty decent recommendations here on a wide variety of price points. I didn't talk about things like games or keyboards or mice, because at the end of the day, I'm telling you how to help your streamer have a better stream, not play their games better, if that makes sense. But you can buy them video games, or you can buy them a console, things like that, to introduce a variety of content. But that being said, I thank you so much for checking this video out, getting some ideas. And once again, I am OG Junkyard over at twitch.tv/OG Junkyard. I'll have the link to that in the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free, stop by, ask me questions. I've got no problem whatsoever answering those. If you're looking for more ideas this holiday season, or you're wondering if the gift that you've got in mind is a good gift for your streamer. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you another time, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.